Hey there, everyone. How's it going? It's later on Thursday night, June 30th. We're rolling into July tomorrow already. Wow, this is half the year gone by already here in 2022. Normally I will be able to get the algorithm done on time today. Thanks for not getting on my case too much. People that did send messages like, "Where's going on? What's up? Is the stuff getting be updated? Where's the email? What's going on?" Thank you for the support. Some days, I'm still just one person, and it just was not possible. It was too stressful of a day. That will not normally be the case. And in order to solve that problem, I'm going to be doing a preview for tomorrow tonight because we actually have some time. I'll try to get something out always every day. Sometimes it doesn't happen on time though, and today was one of them. Anyway, all right. So let's talk about it today. That's not looking very good. There are a few games still going on right now. There's the last two games of the day. It looks like here: San Diego Dodgers, Oakland, Seattle, and this game's not quite over, but the score is bad. It's actually 10-2 already. So this is not looking good. 3 and 5 day, very short day, but reasonable lines. And if we're gonna miss the Oakland game, which we'll see because that's still early in the game, but you could switch Oakland stats around here to AAA for Adrian Martinez, and that'll flip the game heavily in favor of Seattle. And it would make it a 4-4 day, and they would be the #1 pick. I don't necessarily agree with that because AAA stats are not better, even though it's only 5 innings. He's got a 0 ERA, which is distorting. It does screw that up. I don't know. I'm rooting for the underdog here, I guess. But what I did want to do, and before I roll forward and show what the projections are going to be for tomorrow, is if you purchase this and subscribe, and for those that just want to view it and not pay for it, one of the reasons why I'm not rushing to do this on a day when I have a million other things going on is that I don't have 50 subscribers that are on me. I've got much less than that. I feel like on a daily basis, probably about a dozen, really. And that's like $1 a day. So that's like $12 a day if I have a dozen people that are paying the $1 a day. And so it can't dictate, even though you may be betting a ton of money and it may mean a whole lot to you, but then you should consider purchasing it and pushing me to do that, because then I will probably drop what I'm doing and actually help you out for 15 minutes. But as for what's going on today and what I want to talk about in this video. So we have certain percentages going on right here, and I haven't checked them in a couple weeks probably. And so I thought, well, let's do a nice redistribution today. And what we can do really fast, we actually can do it really fast, is to just go, all right, let's only care about pitcher win percentage as the only stat we care about today. What would that have done? The answer is it would have done a 4-4 day. And look at also like the string of things, like where is stuff, like we're missing stuff, but this Oakland game isn't over yet, so that's actually not a terrible distribution. It only has has 2 underdogs. No, it's got Houston over the Yankees this way though. How about that? Considering they lost a really close game. Also look at what the run projections are doing and see if anything looks interesting when we do this. So I'll call this a wishy-washy day, but I do like the fact that Houston's on there, given they won a close game. And Houston's playing really well. Now, instead of pitcher win percentage, let's just use pitcher whip as the only stat we care about. 4 and 3 days, sometimes stuff falls off. It's actually not that bad. Has Pittsburgh somehow. Has Pittsburgh winning that game. Okay, how about just pitcher ERA? So we're still just really heavily on pitcher stats as we're doing this. We're just checking. Wow. Pitcher ERA 5-3 with an Oakland game still going on. For some reason, Cincinnati game, Cubs just went off and scored 1 million runs. This is actually a pretty good look. It's weird that it has Oakland on top, and San Diego game also not over. So there's that. What about using our lineup factor, which is another thing we really need to pay attention. And I've noticed the lineup factors have been showing some really low lineup factor numbers. And that's a newer phenomenon, I think, because of the way that I've distributed the batter stats. Lineup factor does 4-4, puts the Yankees losing a close game on top. Milwaukee loses a close game where they come back in the 9th and still lose 7-8. then Toronto who wins, Seattle winning this game and they're ahead. Atlanta gets blown out, Cubs. So this is not terrible. I'm thinking it's not that bad of a day. It's just a short day and it's looking like it's not going that great. Bullpen ERA factor. What about that one? Terrible day. The bullpens, I was thinking about bringing the bullpen ERA factor down a little bit because I realized some pitchers are kind of going a little longer in games to try because they're just feeling like it. It's kind of like it's warmer out. They've been pitching and managers seem more likely to let people pitch. I have heard in a couple games I've been listening to over the last week, the words and the announcers being like, well, this is the longest that this guy's pitched on the Nationals. It's like Eric Freddie's going deep into the seventh. He hasn't done that or something like whoever it is. And so I think that is happening. So maybe bullpen ERA factor should be reduced now that we're getting into this part of the season toward the All-Star break. Next, this is the recent streak factor, which I say don't pay attention to. Here's the game still going on, and it's just the Cubbies in Houston that went on streak factor. So that, once again, not a good thing. I just like looking at it, but it's not a relevant factor as much as I want it to be. I just have to listen to the algorithm's results and realize that every time I check streak, it doesn't really work well. That means that recency bias doesn't work, is what that means. If streak is not really impactful over the last 10 days or something, then that's just all in our heads. We watch a team win one night, we think they're going to win again. That's what that means. So average runs per game, not really good day. And then average runs allowed was probably a similar day, right? Yeah, also not good. So learning from that, we're going to bring down stats way low for these last three. And we're going to bring bullpen ERA down to 10 because I think it used to be more. Lineup factor, I still like at least a 45%, 40%. We can still look at the batter stats to try to redistribute this by comparing some games, like to figure out how Philly put up so many runs against Atlanta today. We could look through the batters that actually made the hits and see what kind of stats they have. But I won't do that in this video because I'll just wait on that for now. Pitcher win percentage was, I believe, okay. So our percentage right now is at 55. So we've got 45% to distribute over these. And I remember pitcher, yeah, I mean, you could just do it like this. Seems a little high for things like whip, but I mean, it's just what I naturally feel should not be what we do. It should be what those numbers were kicking out. And let's see what that does actually for the day. 3 and 5 still, and Oakland's still going on, and San Diego's still going on here. Cincinnati down here, it moves Atlanta way down at least. Is there any way we can get Philly winning this game? Why did Philly do this? Because this is surprising, right? We have a closer game at 4-3 in Philadelphia. It's a pretty warm day. There's that. So when we look at the Google Sheet, for example, what did the Google Sheet say about the score of that game? Google Sheet was saying that this game was going to be a little more higher scoring because the wind was at least blowing out in Philadelphia. Well, why so many runs for Philadelphia? Well, Aaron Nola got hit today hard. Now, I'm sorry, not Aaron Nola, Ian Anderson. That does make sense. Ian Anderson's ERA was really bad. Look at how it's orange. That didn't create high scoring in the Tampa Bay Toronto game, but the weather here was more conducive. This ERA and this pretty bad whip also. Yet Ian Anderson won 43% of his games. So the way to flip this around and give the edge to Philadelphia instead of Atlanta is, one, they're a home team, which should give them a little more bump. And perhaps I should program in a slight home bump in baseball. I've been thinking about doing that. But it's the pitcher win percentage that was deceptive here. So if you bring that down to 12 and show where there's more disparity here, which is ERA and really a very green whip for Aaron Nola. So it's almost like I want to make this 17 and then this like 16. And watch what that does. Bet you that moves Atlanta off this list. Yep. And now Philadelphia is slightly favored by margin. Now you have a 4-4 day with an Oakland game still going on. So it's just one of the ways I wanted to talk about. And by the way, it's 1-1 right now. Oakland has 2 guys on at the top of the third. So that game ain't over yet. Um, and the whole point of that was, well, we're just making the algorithm better. You can do the same thing if you have a copy. That's kind of the process of how you do that. So we'll keep an eye on these games in Oakland. That's right, Oakland. Hopefully Oakland will come back and win. And San Diego will hold on. Now that we did that, I'll show you once again, if you have a copy of the file and you pay for this and you want to start updating it on your own. I had a question today about somebody saying, hey, is this something that I have to, do I have to update the Google Sheet every day or something? And I'm like, no, you don't have to update the Google Sheet, but if you want to control your own file and have your own copy of the Excel algorithm that you update and that you keep track of, this is how you do that, which is you get a copy of the file and you start doing what I'm doing right now, which is going into the results tab and you start connecting tomorrow to this, freeze today, connect tomorrow, and start building tomorrow's projections. And that's what we're going to do, because it doesn't take that long to get some preliminary projections. The problem is getting projections that are accurate with accurate lineups, which doesn't happen until Friday, July 1st. So let's bring in the games. I've already prepped the sheet by grabbing them right here, putting them right here. Think that worked. Okay, that is a 15-game slate today. So we extend the matchup sheet by 2s here to create 15 game slots instead of just 8 game slots. And we have now done that. Now we've got a bunch of pitchers and no lineups because we don't have lineups yet. So in order to get lineups, thank you, RotoWire, for preparing tomorrow's expected lineups. And we can bring them in here to the lineup sheet. And refresh, and we'll see what it looks like now. See if anybody has a 0. The answer is Antonio Sensatella is going to be an abbreviated name. And so we have to write his full name when we find him. It's right here. Antonio. Hey, Antonio, you're going to pitch a well tomorrow. Let's find out. Antonio. That probably worked. And it did. So now we actually have projections for tomorrow. Everybody has worst innings pitched is 10 innings for Adrian Sampson and a very good ERA on those 10 innings as well for the Cubs. So let's see if we've completely imported all 15 games. Nope, that's the rest of them. And 15, and do we have 15? The answer is tomorrow we have 15, and there you go. So this is what I'm going to send out to the last of the people that subscribed previous to July, and then if you want to get on for July, it's the $30 for 30 days of the Google Sheet access, and you get 1 copy of this at the beginning when you purchase. And tomorrow we've got an underdog Arizona over Colorado. A lot of favorites kind of in order, but a lot of runs for Atlanta, the Dodgers, the Yankees, Seattle against Oakland tomorrow. See, there it like Seattle with Marco Gonzalez. There's your hook. There's everything. So, all right, guys. Good luck, everyone, on Friday. May all your picks be winning.